Welcome, heathens, to Weebo Hot Takes, the show where Weebo, yours truly, brings you a recap of the month's news with a little extra on the side just to be a giant nuisance. Let's begin. Firstly, in the world of entertainment, let's just get this out of the way because I know you're sick of hearing about it as well as I am sick of talking about it. Birds of Prey came out, and after a literal avalanche of articles speculating a host of possible reasons why Birds of Prey performed poorly at the box offices when compared to, say, I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog of all movies, I think we can safely say that the shit stank. It sucked. Most will agree, while only the few self-deluded out there will make any excuse for this poor performance that we are, for whatever reason, calling a movie. Moving on, in Law & Order this month, we saw Patreon's least favorite neckbeard Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, win his 3-year-long copyright lawsuit against the U.S.'s barely present anymore, Akilah Obviously Hughes, over her 2016 election video filmed at the Clinton election party in New York in the wake of the defeat. And just in time for the next election cycle, too. What great timing. More in the way of updates. The Jussie Smollett saga continues, yet still, for some reason, even after the roller coaster of last year, as he is indicted on 6 felony counts of disorderly conduct for filing false reports related to a hate crime. For those of you who don't remember said crime and story, one cold frosty early January morning, our Jussie Smollett cried hate crime and all the world's bleeding hearts came to his aid, only to eat crow when it was revealed that he had in fact orchestrated the whole outlandish incident with the help of Osundario brothers Ola and Abel. My, that was a satisfying turn of events. But continuing on. While the trial of Jussie Smollett is only just beginning, the trial of the former film producer turned convicted sex offender Harvey Weinstein has only just wrapped itself up in a nice little bow for us all in the form of a criminal sex act and third-degree rape. Harvey Weinstein now faces up to 4 years for the rape charge and up to 5 to 25 years on the criminal sexual act charge.
But wait! There's more!
Weinstein has still yet to face Los Angeles courts for yet more allegations of sexual misconduct. But finally, it seems, as if Hollywood's most embarrassing open secret to ever have been ignored by America's social elite class has finally been put to rest. Now we can all go back to wondering when Corey Feldman is going to be vindicated by the internet. February has historically been the shortest month of every year and has also been designated as Black History Month for quite some time. This year, 2020, has had a theme, it seems, to harken back to a time when segregation was the order of the day. Behold.
Public service announcement. Excuse me. If y'all didn't know, this is the MSC, and frankly, there's just too many white people in here, and this is a space for people of color. So just be really cognizant of the space that you're taking up, because it does make some of us POCs uncomfortable when we see too many white people in here. It's only been open for 4 days, and frankly, there's the whole university for a lot of y'all to be at, and there's very few spaces for us. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
So, we get a throwback, and of course we can't have race relations existing in the current year without the constant driving wedge that endures to treat people as if they are their ancestors rather than their own unique beings, and like we haven't advanced as first world countries towards a more colorblind society, which is in fact a staple of white privilege, don't you know? The good sense to see a person's skin color and not have war flashbacks to a time before you even began existing as an idea in this reality is white privilege, don't you know? But that's exactly why we need these things called race to dinner. You see, for the low price of only $2,500, you can have the singular pleasure of hosting a gathering of your fellow white women and a pair of race-baiting women of color. Well, to be fair, it's one black woman and another woman who identifies as Indian American, whatever that means. Congratulations, though. You are now woke and broke for having made a financial blunder equivalent to purchasing 125 acres of land on the moon. Well done. But that is something that I'll probably deep dive into at a later point in time. Right now, I want to talk to you all about another area of race relations this Black History Month. And To be quite frank, it transitions very nicely into our next segment, which is politics. The billionaire ex-mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, has joined the Democratic primary race and came out a-swingin'.
So I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg. Democrats are not going to win if we have a nominee who has a history of hiding his tax returns, of harassing women, and of supporting racist policies like redlining and stop and frisk.
And subsequently missed the mark completely. Other than the fact that he's got $122 billion working against him in a Democratic primary frothing at the mouth over socialist policies and anti-billionaire sentiment.
Look, I'll support whoever the Democratic nominee is, but understand this. Democrats take a huge risk if we just substitute one arrogant billionaire for another. This country has worked for the rich for a long time and left everyone else in the dirt. It is time to have a president who will be on the side of working families and be willing to get out there and fight for them. That is why I am in this race, and that is how I will beat Donald Trump.
Bloomberg has had a marked history of unceremoniously putting his foot inside of his mouth over policies he's enacted and positions he's held while in office.
Enormous cohort of Black and Latino males aged, let's say, 16 to 25 that don't have jobs, don't have any prospects, don't know how to find jobs, don't know what their skill sets are, don't know how to behave in the workplace where they have to work collaboratively.
But you come back, there is this business, it's a couple of, one newspaper and one news service, they just keep saying, oh, it's a disproportionate percentage of a particular ethnic group. That may be, but it's not a disproportionate percentage of those who witnesses and victims describe as committing the murder. In that case, incidentally, I think we disproportionately stop whites too much and minorities too little. Well, it's exactly the reverse of what they say. They are. I don't know where they went to school, but they certainly didn't take a math course.
But, folks, not only that, we can't have a billionaire prospective president without accusations of corruption, tampering, bought and paid for puppet politicians.
Let's just go on the record. They talked about 40 Democrats. 21 of those were people that I spent $100 million to help elect. All of the new Democrats that came in, put Nancy Pelosi in charge,
And gave the Congress the ability to control this president. I got them. And gave the Congress the ability to control this president. I got them. I got them. I got them.
Oh, sorry. Wrong political offices. However did that clip get in there? But Bloomberg is not the only contributor to the DNC with oopsies out there this month. Oh no. We have the Iowa caucuses, and my, what a scandal those were. From refusing to release polling numbers a few days prior to the caucus due to potentially compromising results, to the application meant to report early results in Iowa's Democratic presidential primary caucus developed by a company named, I kid you not, Shadow Incorporated, we have some doozies. All of this nonsense has led to resignations and results that were anticipated to be reported within 24 hours being delayed due to errors and inconsistencies and had to be reported in via telephone with a formal recount to ensure the accuracy, only being wrapped up February 27th, 24 whole days after the caucuses had taken place initially, with Pete Buttigieg still in the lead due to delegate votes, which, by the way, is its own separate issue I don't even want to begin to tackle with a 10-foot pole, so I'll just show you a clip that embodies what went down in precincts across Iowa during the night in question.
When you're watching, and then flip it over. Flip it over. Heads. Buttigieg. Heads. Buttigieg.
All right, so Buttigieg will get 3 delegates.
Now, I don't want to put my tinfoil hat on because shit's expensive and I am a proper poor college student who doesn't have the money to spare on such frivolities as tinfoil hats, but this whole debacle has been stinking of fish since I stumbled upon it, meaning that it smells fishy, quite frankly. We won't dwell on the corruption of politics for quite so long because the mainstream media doesn't do that, and that's the end goal on this show, isn't it? Isn't it? I think. War on women continues as eyeliner has been shown to lead to the objectification of women? What? No. Yes? Who funded that? The Belgian government? Well, alright, cool. So makeup leads to the objectification of women, and hence a higher probability of getting laid, according to observational research that I've been conducting over the course of 21 years in the field of reality. Furthermore, it turns out that recent studies have also discovered a significant correlation between ovaries and reproductive urges, soap and reducing your chances of catching the common cold, and elevated birth rates and the weeks surrounding November the 14th. And speaking of things that came as a surprise to absolutely no one, it turns out that women don't like it when their spaces are invaded and they are deprived of opportunities like ranked titles in their chosen sports and scholarships from said sports for the sake of diversity and inclusion. This is why the families of 3 high school females have decided it would be advantageous of them to sue to block the participation of transgender athletes, effectively discriminating based on biological fairness. Interesting. Well, my perspective on this is that I've decided to take the nuclear approach to solving the social issue that revolves around fairness and sports and whatnot, and suggest that if natural biology ain't cutting it anymore, that we let science and technology take over to build the best and the brightest possible athletes that we can get to compete on the world stage. I'm talking cyborg competitors, roid-ridden muscle machos, genetically enhanced superhumans with gills and shit. Why are we half-assing this god complex we have going on as a species? Either people can be anything that they damn well please at any given point in time, whenever they want, or everyone's got to play by natural law, stay in their own lanes at all times. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Thank you very much. Just think about it. If everything is fair game, then that means that nothing is unfair game. And we've solved the issue. We vote for President 2036. That's all I got, folks. Tune in next month for your worldly update in the form of hot takes.